I am Anthony from Hasselnet, and you are watching 10 Questions. Today, I am here with Cardboard Bots. I will ask 10 questions about his experience as a stop-motion Transformers YouTuber, as well as what led him onto that path. Hi, Cardboard Bots.
Hi, Anthony.
So,
Thanks for having me along.
the pause. I have 10 questions to ask you that I more or less ask everyone, but adjusted specifically for you. If at any time your responses leave an opening, I may ask a follow-up question. Are you ready to begin?
Sounds good. Let's go.
Okay. So to the audience, there is a slight delay, maybe because we're in different countries or the internet's bad. So if I step over him or he steps over me, that is why. But first question, what entertained you while growing up?
I guess drawing. I like to draw a lot, and I did that as a kid, watching cartoons and then drawing those cartoons. Aside from that, I like things that kids normally like, going on bike rides, playing softball, played hide and go seek, spotlight, playing with toys with my buddies, and when Nintendo came along, we all played that.
So no Transformers, huh?
Well, Transformers were there. They were pretty strong up there with G.I. Joe, I think. Ninja Turtles were big when they came along as well. But we were probably, in that G.I. Joe, He-Man sort of group, and then Transformers came along afterwards. I really enjoyed the GoBots as well, and I'm not afraid to admit it.
Okay, so
and Gem and the Holograms. Okay?
Oh, I love Gem. It's like a soap opera for kids.
If it was a cartoon, I watched it. Let's put it that way.
So what made you decide to start a YouTube channel?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I've been sort of playing around, picking up Transformers here and there after seeing my son get Transformers for his birthday. And I started getting a little heavier into Transformers online and going to places like TFW 2005, looking at message boards. And I bought some Masterpiece Transformers. I thought they were amazing. And a friend of mine said, you should do something with these. You should take, I was into photography a little bit, said, take some photographs, put them online, put them on Flickr, maybe do some, animations with them, because he knew I liked to play around with some animation of it. And that's what I did. I listened to my best buddy, and I started making stop motion animations of Transformers for basically two of my best friends, and anyone else that came along was just, gravy on top.
So when did your YouTube channel premiere?
I think we're almost at the 4-year mark. I think I started in January of 2017.
Okay. So when you started the channel, what was your initial YouTube channel offerings? Now, you mentioned videos for friends. Was that it?
Yeah, so I did videos for my kids. So like my kids would get Legos and different things, and we'd put them together and we'd do a little story. And I remember doing that around Christmas time and liking it. And my son got Transformers Legos, the Creos. I did some photography with that. But I really liked watching the Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer and the stop motion that he did along with the Transformer reviews, because I was getting like two kicks then, the animation and discussion about Transformers.
Okay. So what trends have you seen change with online content creation since starting your YouTube channel?
I guess the big one was Kappa. I call it Kappa. I heard some people call it Copa.
Banana.
Copacabana.
Banana.
Yeah, you get it. You've heard that one a lot, I guess. I started out doing stuff with my kids and then doing voices and stuff for some of the smaller Transformers. And I used to get them to help me move some things sometimes, or to press buttons for me. And I wanted to include them more in my work that I do with Transformers and stop motion. But because of Kappa, I couldn't do that anymore. So I had to wait until my kids are turned 13. And when my son turned 13, his voice started to get deeper and stuff, and he wasn't as interested in playing with toys with his dad anymore. So that's really kind of threw the wrench in what I want to do. Like, I did this video with my daughter. She had Nautica as a Transformer. I bought it off Dennis Moulton, actually.
We're just name dropping everybody.
Yeah, no, Dennis lives in the same city as me, or he lives on the outskirts of the same city as me. He's sort of like in between, like where like 3 different cities meet, or towns, I guess.
Oh, which Nautica was it, by the way?
it was part of some sort of box set that had like four different Transformers
Ah,
in
the
it.
Titans
So
Return one. Okay.
yeah, at one time Hasbro was doing this thing where they're putting four Transformers in a set, and people only ever wanted one or two, and it was really forcing people to go a certain way. They dropped doing that. They had plans to do four of these sets. They only did two of them, I think. And so I asked around. I was looking for a Transformer for my daughter. My daughter loved pink, and so I thought, oh well, maybe I put the word out there. Does anyone have, Nautica, on a message board or something? And Dennis said, yeah, I can sell you mine. And so I met up with him and got it. So she did some of the critique in that video about how she likes pink and why she likes it because it's pink. That was 4 years ago. She's completely grown out of pink now. She would never ever touch anything pink. It would have to be like dark purple or black or something like that. So it was a phase, and now I can't do that because of COPPA. I just can't involve my kids in my videos. And once they get past 13, they're not really going to want to be in dad's videos anymore.
Well, my first question is why not RC? Because Rolling 30s RC was available then, but then two, your daughter could then do Blackbird or somebody who's
Yeah,
dark and
well,
purple. Yeah,
that's a good question. So she actually gave me a transformer. She had a that little Fangry from Titans Returns, I think.
yeah,
Uh,
the headmaster.
and it's yeah, it's very magenta, right? So she got that one Christmas, and I don't think she really got into it. So she gave it to me afterwards, and I'm shooting it right now. I'm working on it. Unfortunately, she's not involved in that, but I'd love her to be involved in that. But you know, because of COPPA, I can't.
Okay, so what do you think brings people to your channel now?
That's a good question. I think people enjoy stop motion, period, because I think it's a type of magic, to be honest. The Transformers, when we watch cartoons, that's animation. We like the toys from Transformers, and stop motion is just a way of bringing toys to life. So I think people really enjoy that. It's more than just a review. There's an entertainment factor to it as well. And I like to be a little bit educational with what I do. So I like to bring out some facts about that particular character or that Transformer. I don't want it to be just a review. I want someone to learn something by watching it as well. So I think people enjoy that about my videos.
It's also half the battle.
Learning is half the battle, yeah. No way.
Knowing is half the battle. Yeah. The other half of the battle is not even asking. There was a meme. I was like, it was so better articulated than what I just said. Ignore me. By the way, all my questions are good. Anyway, next question. What changes do you have planned for your YouTube channel in the near future? What do you think is what are you, I mean, you just mentioned you are doing another review, but are you thinking in going to new features, or are you going to keep the ships on the same direction, or how you doing it?
Yeah, so one of the things I want to do with my channel right from the beginning is let it be user driven. So the people who watch my videos decide what I review next, and that's worked out for me a fair bit. I've had my heart broken because people would choose Transformers that I wouldn't choose, or there'd be really great ones and they wouldn't pick them. Like I had uh, Masterpiece Optimus Prime, MB10. No, they didn't pick that. They didn't pick DX9's Megatron. I'm like, what are you guys thinking? I have to go in the mystery box now and pull up something random. So people didn't choose Masterpiece Optimus, and they didn't choose DX9's version of Megatron, which were both great. And so I had to go pick something out of the mystery box that I had there for a while. I still have the mystery box. I don't bring it out very often now, but I had to bring out something completely random. And then I don't know what's going to be in the mystery box. I don't decide what goes in there. It's a whim at the moment. I like to tell people it's up to the mystery box. It's not up to me. So the mystery box is a fickle and cruel god, and will it will punish you for bad decisions and reward you with folly. I don't use it as much anymore now because I really didn't like the idea of because when something didn't get voted on, it got put away and I'd never come back to it. But I don't want to give those up anymore. I want to say that if it doesn't get voted on, it just stays in the queue to go up next time against another bot. So Fangry was up for a long time. It was, kind of a running joke. Fangry would never get voted. Someone else would get voted. And then the last time Fangry got voted in. So I've been working on that review. I started it over a year ago, and I paused it for a bit. And I just recently picked it up because I was just a little busy in terms of real life stuff.
I occasionally pitch ideas to some channels. Like I gave Brian an idea for a joke he can do. I gave Dennis a skit he could do. I'm going to give you an idea. Just buy two more Fangry or any figure you want really bad, and you have one of already. But make all three of them a choice. Just the same figure. Just because that would be hilarious.
It sort of happened. We had an armor hide, and he didn't get picked. But then the winner was a different armor hide. That a winner like that from the mystery box was a different colored armor hide. So that was kind of fun. I like that. As for new things I'd like to do with my videos, I think I'd like to play around with some almost journalistic approaches to videos. Like I really want to do a video about the KO version of X-Transbot's Crack Up. So they did a Stunticon, the white Lamborghini, I guess, and someone KO'd it. And everyone was like, don't buy that KO, don't buy that red KO. And so I waited like a year and a half, and I bought the red KO to see what it was like. What was everyone complaining about? Someone actually knocked off a third-party thing. And it wasn't the end of the world. And by that point, it was kind of hard to get. I'd like to do a video about the most hated Transformers in third-party, which is this knockoff KO of X-Transbot's Crack Up, which is, it's a fine Transformer in and of itself, but no one wants to touch it. I'd like to do a video about how I became a toy scalper.
What?
And
okay, unsubscribe.
So this is what I'm getting at, right? So I want to kind of branch out and do some other things, and so I just want to explore what these things would look like,
So we're talking. So yeah, we're talking scenario then, kind of like you explore it like an investigative reporter.
We're talking scenario. No, I recently came across there was in the States. I think you guys have discount stores like Ollie's or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's so when retail loses they shuffle their stuff out to a discount outlet, and stuff will be on sale for dirt cheap. Recently, I came across some Transformers that were at a discount outlet, and the price was too good to be true. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll buy one. So I bought one. Then I checked on eBay for what the price was on eBay, and the price was like 3 or 4 times what I paid for it at this discount store. So I went back to the store and I bought some, and I bought like 6 of them. So I've got like 1 left to sell. So I want to kind of do a video about how I became a toy scalper.
Well, see, that's not really scalping in the general sense, though. That's kind of like you found it cheap, you sold it at somewhere around market price, and voila. So, I mean, scalping is more like somebody buys a whole bunch of stuff that's at the store at MSRP and then sells it for multiple times its actual retail price. So, I mean, I guess you can spin it the way you have it in your head, but you might want to explain the differences. But with that said,
I think there's differences. My daughter, she was looking at me, every week because I'd sell 1 or 2 of them a week on eBay, and she's like, "Are you doing something illegal, Dad?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Are you scamming people?" I'm like, "No." I said, "I'm just selling Transformers. I found some at a good price, and I'm selling them at a good price." So. It'd be interesting to see what happens, because I bet there would be people that would unsubscribe. They'd say, no, that's bad. Don't do that. And for me, it might mean that my kids get an extra Christmas gift this year, or I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll just use the money to buy a different Transformer that I want to get that I wouldn't normally be able to afford. So it was, and I got the information about this deal through a local Transformers group that me and Dennis are a part of. So, if I tell Dennis about this, which he'll see because he'll watch this video, like he might have some harsh words for me, and I'll have to deal with that browbeating when it comes.
I don't think he will, because there is a clear difference between what a typical scalper is and what you're doing. So, I if anybody who knows the actual scalping mystique, as it were, that makes people hate scalpers. You're not doing that. You're doing something that is completely different. At this point, I look at it like these people didn't go into the store and buy it themselves, and you're offering it at about the same price they probably would have bought it in store anyway. So you're just taking advantage of a discounted price, is what that is. So I see it as a different thing.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of weird. Like it didn't make sense for my neck of the woods to get this toy because it was one of those exclusive ones that Hasbro does, one of those generation selects, and which are overpriced anyway, and made to be exclusive to kind of drive people in the stores. It didn't make sense for this discount store to get all these. It just, it was over a year that this toy was out. There's still lots of demand for it, so I guess it didn't sell at retail. Is what happened somewhere along the way, and then this national discount store got it, and then I got it. So I don't know. I feel a little bit dirty about it, to be honest.
Because Canadians are polite, that's why.
Right, but I'm still paying taxes on it, and I'm claiming all this as, business income. It's a business expense and business income, and it's all legitimate for me. So I think I'd like to go and tell people about that experience, and then of course I'll have to live through what people are going to judge me for it, and I don't plan to do it again. It was just something that came along, a one-time thing, but I don't think I'd be ever a person who goes in the store and say like, oh, I see, I don't know, what's a hot transformer now? Like,
I was gonna say Blaster's about to come out. Tigertron right now is really hard to find.
Yeah. Like no one would get mad at anyone if RC went to a clearance bin and I got it for, $5 for an RC, and I bought like 6 of them, and then I sold them for $30 online. No one would care because
no one would buy them. But yeah, so I wanted to add something before we get too far along. For people who have not seen any of your videos, at the end you give them a choice of 2 Transformers and a mystery box, and so that's what the mystery box comes from. So, and you don't do it for every video because sometimes you do shorts and you don't really do that, but in your longer videos you certainly do.
So I've kind of put the mystery box aside for a little while now. So instead of having the choice of 2 Transformers in a mystery box, I'm just having the 2 Transformers there. Now the mystery box can still come along, but it will just be
a mystery
an equal choice as one of the Transformers, right? We don't know, so it'll be 1 Transformer, 1 mystery box, and then whatever. So now it's just a straight poll. So whatever gets over 50% is gonna win the poll. And it used to be that those polls could happen in the video, and now YouTube cut that feature, and you have to do your polls in the community tab.
Yeah.
So it was nicer when it was a part of the video, but the community stuff's okay too.
Anyway, I was going to say I look forward to seeing that your experience as I'm going to use air quotes scalper. That would be an interesting video to watch. But we'll move on to the next question. What changes would you like to make if you had unlimited resources?
I wouldn't make any changes if I had unlimited resources. If I had unlimited resources, I would just be vegging in front of the TV, watching Netflix, ordering pizza all the time. I wouldn't get up from my couch, and I would die prematurely if money was no object. Money being a concern makes you hungry. It's a limit on your creativity, and it forces you to make this creative decisions. So going out and buying something, if you have $10 to buy a Transformer or $5, what can you do with that $5 or $10? You'll get a more interesting result. I went out. There was a time where I was between jobs, and I swore off buying Transformers for a while. I think it was like over a year that I didn't buy any Transformers. And I was out with a friend at a different town on the other side of the province. I was in like a dollar store, which is like a Dollar Tree. The store is called Dollarama. And I bought a KO of Armorhide for $2.
Oh, I think you did something about that. I think I remember watching it.
Yeah, so I literally, it was the first Transformer I bought in a year, and it was a dollar store KO, and they had like 2 different colors there, and I said, I best not risk, spending $4. So I just bought one, and I made a good video with it. It turned out all right. I still have fun doing it. I left it in its package for a long time until I was ready to cut it open and animate with it. And it was a reward for me. I used it, I didn't make a video of it until I was working again, but it was a reward for me, and then it became another engaging video. And I had some people who respond to it because they could hear in what I was saying that money was a little tight. So yeah, I think money limits help me make better videos, because then I'm not going out and buying the latest and greatest. Like I went there was someone on in our local Transformer group, and they had this G1 hose head for sale, and I'm like, I remember having that as a kid. That was awesome. I loved that. So I bought it, and it wasn't cheap necessarily. It was pretty expensive, and it became one of my most popular videos just by doing something a little different. And if I had no limit on money, I wouldn't go out and buy a G1 hose head. I'd be buying something fans toys, or I'd be something masterpiece.
Which is funny. After I saw that dollar store knockoff review, I actually went through a number of stores seeing maybe they had them here in America. They did not. I never found them. I never saw them in store. I was gonna say we'll move on to the talking points then.
Sure.
So I have this one thing. All four of you, and I'll list names in a second. There's a clique of Canadian stop motion Transformers reviewers. And how did you get to know these guys? And do you have any experiences with them that you're willing to share? Now, the other three, because you're yourself, Gotbot, Dennis Moulton, George of Lazy Eyebrow, and Brian of T Fanpage 101. So, how did you all learn about each other, and what experiences have you had together that you're willing to share?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think I would know about these guys just from originally just from watching YouTube and watching reviews. Both Dennis and Brian are prolific in the amount of reviews they do. They have an incredible knowledge of Transformers, and they're very dedicated to making reviews. I don't think Dennis doesn't do stop motion as part of his reviews, but he does stop motion skits, and then he does these longer stories as well. So I actually saw he got covered in the local news for his stop motion Transformers work. So the broadcaster here is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. That's like the state broadcaster, I guess. I'm not sure if you have those in the States, state broadcast.
PBS.
Anyway. PBS. So they're like PBS, except CBC has money. I guess that would be the difference of it.
Yeah, ours is not really. It's like ours is fundraising and half government funded. It's quasi governmental.
Yeah, CBC doesn't go on like phone drives and trying to get you to donate to CBC. They're like pretty good funded, and they have commercials and stuff too. So anyway, so Dennis was on CBC. He got coverage showing his videos and that. And I'm like, I'm going to be as popular as Dennis someday. So
I didn't mean to laugh. That was just the way you said it. It was like, oh.
No, it's just like he got recognition for what he was doing, and certainly I've seen that on George's videos, the Lazy Eyebrow. By seeing him do stop motion reviews of Transformers, it felt like that gave me permission to do it as well. Like George is about, I guess, 10 years younger than me, so I'm like, if he can do it, I can do it too. And it's very inspiring, and I love watching Brian's videos, the TF fan page. He's got a great sense of humor. Like the voices that he does in his Transformers Misfortune series that he does is just hilarious. But even his regular reviews have so much production in them. There's a lot of script to it. The angles that he uses, he puts a lot of work into that. And I think he's probably I think people need to pay more attention to what he's saying, because he knows a lot about Transformers, and he knows a lot about their production of really good, funny reviews.
Did somebody say articulation?
Yeah, exactly. Like it doesn't matter. Like, I don't like the Transformers that he reviews lots of times, but I like his reviews so much I have to watch them. So even if I figure I'm not interested in it, I'll watch it because of his delivery. Now, I don't know if him and George met. They both lived on the west coast of Canada for a while, so I know they bought and sold some Transformers together, but I don't know if they met. They might have. I've met Dennis because I've bought Transformers from him. He lives in my community. And I've met George when I went on holiday one year, and we just kind of met up. I drove down to his province, and I drove on the way to Prince Edward Island for a summer trip with the family. And we just met up, and it just happened to be like the provincial holiday for that province. It was like the first, I think the 1st of August or something like that. And so there was all these concerts on the go. We were at a campsite. There was a big party. It was great. And so I've stayed in contact with him, and I'll bounce ideas off him from time to time. and I've had the good fortune of doing some work with him, where we collaborated on a video about gears. Is it? Yeah, that's the guy's name. I think I got him up there on the shelf. So that was like a Mechanic Studios Rock, and it was a blast doing that video with him. What I wanted to do was I just wanted to make the stop motion, and I just wanted to give him the footage and have him just talk over it. And in the end, what we ended up doing was more like a back and forth, where we kind of riffed on each other, and I got to nudge him a little bit about his, scale issues, and because he's really big about scale, and at some point, you can't be, because it's never going to line up. Like a truck is never going to be the same size as a handgun, as a tape deck, right? So I like to nudge him about that sort of thing, and so certainly people do that online as well.
Okay, so do you wish to mention anything else about your channel?
I'm not dead. I'm still making videos. I've been on a bit of a break. Just been really busy in real life. So I think it was in the summer that I finished making some videos about G1 Hosehead, and then Fangry got put on the list to get go into next. So yeah, no, I'm still around. I'm still shooting. And I'm not saying that the Fangry video is going to be awesome, because it's just a little video about Fangry. How awesome can it be? He's just a little tiny headmaster dude. So when I do post that video, and it might be posted by the time this video comes out, I hope people watch it.
Okay, so do you have any content on other outlets, and how can people find out more about your content? Now, I have YouTube listed at simplyyoutube.com/cardboardbots.
Yep. So that's pretty much the one place that I'm going. I'm actually not very into social media. I've only done sort of shown my face here on your videos now. We had one streaming that we did for you, and then this interview. So I'm kind of shy and putting myself out in the public like that. I'd rather the focus be on the Transformers and the production as opposed to me. So I'm not out there on social media a whole lot. I do have a coffee page, so I'm not doing a Patreon. I feel deeply uncomfortable about asking people for money. But at the same time, if people want to give me money, that's cool too.
Because coffee is KOFI, and it's pretty much like donations.
Yeah, it's coffee, ko-fi.com /cardboardbots. I think that's what my address is for that. I don't, it's very passive. I put it on the description of my videos, and I put it at the end that if people want to donate to it, they can. So I've made a couple of purchases with the money I got from it. It's been very low. Like right now, it's less than $100. I used some of that money just the other day to get something I would never really get, and it's a Tobot from Korea. I like doing things that are a little bit different, and I haven't seen a whole lot of reviews about Tobots, but I want to try it out, and it's a little more expensive than regular Transformers.
I was asking if there was figure bots. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were giving me a secret signal.
No.
You're
it was like, you said toe bots. I'm like, is there finger bots?
Yeah, no, it's TOBOT, Tobot. So like GoBot,
okay,
except with a T.
That's weird. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so there's this guy. I feel really bad now. I can't remember his name, but he's been reviewing them, and he's like one of the few English people that are reviewing Tobots, and they're really interesting. They're kind of built really chunkier. I think they're meant more for kids, but they're built really well. And
we're saying like rescue bots.
No, they do have some small ones like that, but they're built like out of really thick materials, and like we have a lot of hollowness in our stuff.
We call them waffles.
Materials. Yeah, so these things are just kind of like, if you got hit in the head by it, you would be going to the hospital, right? So I'm looking forward to that for coffee. Where else am I online? I'm at TFW 2005, those message boards. I'm at cybertron.ca, which is like a Canadian version of that. But as for being on Twitter or Flickr, I'm not really on that, or social media, not on Instagram or anything like that. So YouTube is the best place to find me.
Okay. I'm looking forward to the Fangru review. That's going to be interesting. And then your expose on scalpers.
If it ever happens.
Living that scalper life.
Yeah, it's a. I'd like to do it. I'm thinking about calling up Dennis and asking him if I can borrow his new deluxe Fangry. Maybe just for a size comparison for the review. I'm looking at getting one myself, but they're really hard to find because they've made them a 4-pack that you can only get at Toys R Us, and you can't get them at the Toys R Us here in Newfoundland, the province where I'm from. And it's just really hard to get. So I'd like to get a Fangry, but I don't want to spend too much to get a Fangry. So I might just borrow his. And he's been a good guy, so he might hook me up.
Although the fact that you were thinking about talking about him for the scalper video, I was thinking to myself, well, that would be great to get him to like commentary on it. Like, he'd be like doing an after show, like, oh, well, here's my video. What do you think, Dennis? You can let him go for an hour. He won't stop. He'll tell you.
Dennis had some. I watched your video your interview with Dennis where he talked about some reviewers getting advanced copies of stuff that was likely stolen.
Right.
And I didn't realize he felt so strongly about that. And it'd be interesting to hear what Dennis has to say about my little excursion into scalping, and especially since the Transformers group that we're part of was instrumental in me being able to find those toys, and then to buy them and sell them.
Because the one thing I haven't covered is scalping, because I don't have the desire to do it. It just makes me feel icky. But the fact that you're not even doing it right and you feel icky about it, like. It would be a different take. It would be very interesting.
Well, there's a lot of discomfort in our toys, in what we do. I mean, some of us buy KOs and some of us don't. I have some KOs. I don't like buying KOs necessarily, but some of them are better than what Hasbro puts out. Some of the sizes are better and the prices are better. So some people might like KOs, but not like scalping, or some people might like third party but not KOs. So there's a lot of room for what people are comfortable with and what people aren't comfortable with. And so I kind of want to put it out there, just try some different videos. Also like to do what I call an ABC TF challenge, which is more a challenge video where I ask people to record all their Transformers from ABC all the way down to Z. And so like A could be, I don't know, Autobot, B could be Bumblebee, C could be, what's a good C? I don't know.
Cliff Jump.
And so people are showing off their collection alphabetically, and seeing how that gets down to V's and U's and Z's, and the X's, it would get a little tricky there at the end, I think. So that's something I'd like to do in the future, but I haven't done yet because it's not my normal shtick.
Thank you for doing this. For everybody, don't forget to check out Cardboard Bot's channel on YouTube. Also, the two things he was talking about, I did do a Transformers Reviewers live stream with Cardboard Bots, which was his first appearance on camera. So go to Transformer Reviewers channel, or TF Reviewers, and go ahead and check out that review. It is actually a stop motion review with him and a number of other stop motion artists. And again, thank you all for watching. And remember to like and subscribe everything multiple times. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for having me.